Feeling frustrated? Feeling overwhelmed? Feeling irritable? Feeling challenged? Feeling overstimulated? You're not alone. You might also not be feeling the building of energy in kind of the negative ways that I just described. And you might be feeling an increase in energy, in motivation, in drive, and inspiration. What are we talking about? We're talking about the first quarter moon this week. Hello, my friends. Happy Monday, happy Moonday, and welcome to this week's Moonday morning announcements. I don't know about you, but I am feeling this first quarter moon, which is exact tomorrow, Tuesday the 26th. This is going to be at 7 in the morning Eastern time, which is when the moon is going to be at 28 degrees of Libra, and it's going to form a tension or a square aspect with the sun currently in Cancer. The first quarter moon is when we move past our new moon phase, that dark lunar phase, and the moon is becoming more and more illuminated on its way to that big, bright, beautiful full moon, which will be next week. And as the moon is growing and building in its light and illumination, we tend to see this reflected as a growing and a building of energy amongst us, especially in our emotional state. Some first quarter moons, I feel those positive experiences. And my inspiration is growing and my motivation is growing. I feel this uptick in physical and mental energy. And then sometimes during first quarter moon, I'm feeling tension build and I'm feeling challenge build. I'm feeling frustrated and irritable and overstimulated by little teeny tiny sounds in the background, like a puppy who was chewing and chewing and chewing her bone while I was trying to do this quick little video that won't take me very long and will be okay. And so we're a cosmic witch, right? So there's the astrology aspect of this where we look at the transit and we go, oh, okay, well, no wonder I'm kind of feeling this way. We've got our first quarter moon this week. I even had so classic of first quarter moon. We had a good morning before camp drop off, and these little teeny tiny issues, if you could even call them that at the beginning, these little teeny tiny issues, little teeny tiny mishaps, little unplanned moments, they started happening and following one after another. They started building and building and building. Blair and I ended up getting into what began as a very sound and overall well-executed disagreement. And it didn't, in my experience, from my point of view, it felt like it didn't matter how well I was communicating or how well I was listening or how lovingly I was holding the boundary that I needed to hold. Her frustration with the fact that I was saying no to something that she asked for, her frustration was growing and growing. My frustration in her not accepting my no as my answer was growing and growing. And what began as a pretty well executed disagreement at the beginning did turn into this little spat between mother and daughter. On our way to camp drop off after that, we had a conversation about building and growing emotions. And something that I'm helping her work through right now are feelings of disappointment, being let down, things not going our way, people behaving in a way that negatively impacts us. And so we feel wronged, or we feel like that's unfair. We feel like they should have done something else, or that they should have been accountable for it. And they weren't, right? And they weren't. And we still have to find a way to accept disappointment. Accept other people's behaviors that are out of our control. Accept unfairness sometimes, or what we feel is unfair. And I was trying to teach her that part of ourselves that gets really, really big in frustration, in disappointment, in things not going our way, in when we're feeling wronged. I was explaining that part of ourselves is not inherently bad. And it's not about teaching that part of ourselves to shut up and not do that. That part of ourselves has a really, really, really important role. That feeling of something being truly unfair, truly wrong, is an important part of our inner discernment. And there are so many variable levels of experiences we go through that trigger that part of ourselves. And sometimes they're little things, and our job is to take that in, move through the emotion, and then move on, and then let it go, and let it roll off, and choose to have a good day in spite of that, or choose to have a good day anyways. And sometimes that part of ourselves is kind of pinging on our radar because something really is wrong and it should be addressed, or something should be done about it. Where does each scenario kind of fall on that scale? And therefore, how do we respond to it? Now, in a very, mom to an almost 8-year-old way, I was explaining this in way, way, way simpler terms. And we were talking about, checking in with yourself and maybe taking a breath and asking, is this a little problem? Is this a medium problem? Or is this a really big problem? And I realized afterwards, when I came home and I was getting ready to do our announcements, and I opened my almanac and I look at, of course, tomorrow is our first quarter moon in Libra. In those scales of justice, in those scales that are constantly weighing and comparing and contrasting what's right, what's not right. How do we bring what's not right into more balance so that it is right, so that it is fair, so that it does benefit as many people as possible? And the reason that we're having this quarter moon is because the moon will be in Libra, and that forms a square aspect with our sun currently in Cancer right now. And while the sun is in Cancer, we tend to feel a little deeper. Maybe another way to look at it is we're even more aware of our emotions. And so as the moon forms this first quarter in Libra, while the sun is in Cancer, sensations of unfairness, frustration, being wronged, things being out of balance, out of harmony, we might be even more hyper aware of those things. We might be feeling that even deeper. And so I'm going to offer to you, and I'm going to offer to me, exactly what I offered my kiddo this morning, which is the power of a sacred pause. Giving yourself the space to take a nice, deep, regulating breath, maybe even a few of them, and asking yourself first, is this a big problem? Is this a medium problem? Or is this a really big problem? Is this something that would benefit me to find a way to let it roll off my back and move on from and choose to have a good day anyways? Is this a medium problem? Is this something that does require some conflict resolution or some form of problem solving? What might some of those options look like? What are the options available to you? Is this a big problem? Is this something that needs to be addressed? Something needs to change. Someone needs to be communicated with or advocated for. A boundary has to be put into place. a tie must be cut. I think that sometimes the most powerful magic and energy work comes from learning from some of our most simple and mundane and everyday occurrences, like a little tiff between mother and daughter over swim goggles. So I am going to remind myself as I head into this quarter moon, which we're only going to build intention all the way through tomorrow. I'm going to give myself that gift and that space of that sacred pause, right? It's kind of like gauging, is there a problem outside of me that needs to be addressed? Or is there a problem within me and that needs to be addressed? Or is it even simpler than that? Am I just overstimulated right now? Am I just dysregulated right now? And I need to come back to baseline right now. I firmly, firmly, firmly believe in the incredible impact of taking a quick beat and breathing through something and actually thinking it through. Whenever we are experiencing these moments of tension, overwhelm, challenge, boiling over, whether there's a quarter moon going on in the stars or not, I am a big, huge believer in the incredible power of taking a quick pause and breathing through it and asking myself, actually gauging the reality of the situation at hand. So I hope that this is at least somewhat helpful for you into this week. When we make our way to a full moon, even past the first quarter, once we get all the way to a full moon, it's really common that a lot of us feel those whole couple of weeks from a new moon to a full moon. It's really common for a lot of people to feel that building in energy and tension, and conflict and challenge and overwhelm. So my advice for you is that if you are gauging these experiences or these events that trigger, irritability or even straight up infuriation, for those little things, for those times that you gauge what's going on and you realize this is a me thing, what can you give yourself to move through that energy? Can you take a walk around the block? Can you do a dance party? Can you write a super angry letter? Can you go into a safe space and talk it out with your guides? And sometimes that means shit talking a little bit. Sometimes I utilize my spirit team and my deities similar to a safe space with a friend or a therapist. And I let myself speak the just ridiculous frustrations that I need to. I let myself do shitty venting. I let myself say shitty things in this safe space where I know it's not going to hurt anyone. Because more often than not, what was actually happening was there was this building of energy that just needed to come up and out. If you find that no matter how many times you try to address this energy within yourself and you try to move through it and you try to let it go and you can't, and this other person or this other experience or whatever it is, this other situation keeps bringing you back to this crazy overwhelming place, crazy frustrated overreacting place, then that can tell you, I think this is something that has to be addressed, right? This might be a medium or a large problem. This might not just be an internal thing. Action might need to be taken on this. A solution might need to be brainstormed and tried out on this. So I hope that this is a helpful moment of awareness. And I hope that this serves as a reminder to come back into yourself, find a way to regulate and get back to home base, and then genuinely gauge with yourself. Is this as big as it feels? Or does it just feel big? This week, we have today's Monday Witchy Co-working session, which is an open room, drop in, drop out, anytime from 12 to 3 p.m. These are magical, co-creative, co-supportive spaces where you can show up and either get shit done or hold yourself accountable to a commitment that you've been really, really trying to keep. So for some of us, this looks like following through with some work tasks or house tasks that we've been promising ourselves or others that we would do. But sometimes this also looks like holding ourselves accountable to doing the things that we want to do. Never underestimate the power of accountability magic when it comes to those things that you're constantly putting off because you're like, well, I've been really meaning to journal. Well, I've been really meaning to paint. Well, I've been really meaning to read this book. Well, I've been really meaning to get on that tarot reading. But fill in the blank. Here's this other reason for something that myself or society is deemed more productive. So once again, I'm going to put this thing that I really, really want to do and I'm called to do, but I'm going to put it off to the side yet again to do something else. Witchy co-working space is a beautiful place to bring your self-care work, your spiritual work, your creative work, and use the magic of the accountability system that is co-working to hold yourself accountable to doing the things that you love to do and you enjoy doing. So don't feel like you only have to be able to, or that to come to co-working, you can only bring something that is, on your to-do list and needs to get done. It's amazing for that. And it really is incredible for creating and holding space to do the things we love to do and then we like to do as well. And as always, make sure that you browse our events page in Mighty Networks. In addition to our faculty-hosted events, there are also a variety of student clubs that are hosted by various students throughout that witch school. So make sure that you also go check those out this week too. Don't forget that we are in our last couple of days of Cancer season. So Leo season begins on Wednesday this week. The sun will move into Leo. Bless all of the gods. Mercury retrograde is finally coming to an end the following day on Thursday, the 23rd. I don't usually feel this rocked by a Mercury retrograde, but this one has not been for the faint of heart, my friend. My goodness. So Mercury will be stationing direct on Thursday. The closing of this retrograde period is coming. So in these last couple of days of Cancer season, I invite you to pay attention to your emotions. If you're being pulled and called to feel something deeply, let yourself feel it all the way through to the other side. And I cannot wait because this week, the beginning of Leo season, July 22nd, also marks the big 5-year anniversary for that witch podcast, which just feels a little disbelievy. I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around that. And though I have been having plenty of challenges and mishaps and unexpected shit coming across my plate this Mercury retrograde. At the end of it, I really, really am grateful for the timing of this particular Mercury retrograde at the end of Cancer season, because leading up to this 5-year anniversary, I can absolutely say that I have been in so much deep, profound reflection of where I've been, where we've all been, the different starting points for each of you in that witch school and what's looked like in the time that you've been here, in this big, organically unique, gorgeous community that we all hold together. This is such a sacred and special place. And it all began because you pushed play on a little old podcast of mine. So thank you. I'm excited to celebrate with you this week. I'm excited to say that I've been feeling really, really inspired And I have been creating more and more content for the podcast again. And that just, it feels really good. Again, the power of the sacred pause. When we let ourselves draw back, some pretty incredible things can happen. So thanks, Mercury retrograde. Thank you to all of you. I hope you have a beautiful start to your week. I'd love to know in the comments how you are feeling this week. Are you feeling a building in energy? And are you feeling it in really fun ways, or are you feeling it in really difficult ways? I can't wait to connect with you. And let me know if you have any questions on anything at all. As always, until I talk to you soon, stay safe, have fun, stay magical out there, my friends.